Hello kids, it's me again, back for another video, something a little unexpected because I had no idea this news would be dropping, but today I'm going to be talking about the recent announcement of the Luckiest Girl Alive movie adaptation. Now, it's no surprise that I would be talking about this because I did make an entire 1 hour long video about the book after I read it. I think it was like last summer or something. I don't know, it's been a while. If you haven't watched that, go ahead. Again, it's an hour long, so I won't take it personally if you don't. Needless to say, I am in love with the book Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll, and now there's going to be a film adaptation of it, and Netflix is going to be the studio in charge of creating that film adaptation, and like I said, I have some feelings. So, this all started around yesterday when an article on Variety dropped that announced that Mila Kunis would play the lead role of the film as Ani/Tiffany Finelli. Probably Ani Finelli since she's like an adult and probably not the child roles. I am interested in who's gonna play child Tiffany. That'll be interesting because the meat of the story focuses around Ani when she is a child, so we haven't heard anything about that yet. I haven't, at least. I haven't seen anything. And that news, along with the news that Jessica Knoll herself will be writing the screenplay and executive producing, was also included in that announcement, along with the director. I forgot his name, I'm not gonna lie. I know he's directed 12 episodes of The Handmaid's Tale. I don't know if they were good episodes or not, but his other work I'm not too familiar with, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I did enjoy the first season of The Handmaid's Tale, so I'm gonna take that as a good sign. So, this news. This is all we've got, but my mind, as soon as I saw that announcement, my mind was racing. I was thinking, oh my goodness, there's gonna be a movie adaptation of this book that I'm obsessed with, you know, and it was a film. This isn't gonna be a limited series or a television series. So we've got maybe 2 hours to work with, and I don't know how they're gonna swing it, really. I will say, apparently a film for Luckiest Girl Alive was in the works for a while, because I saw the article posted in the r/movies subreddit on Reddit, and in the comments one person said that they had a copy of the book that said it would soon be a major motion picture with Reese Witherspoon as the lead, which I thought was interesting, because if you've read Luckiest Girl Alive, you'll know that Ani Finelli is just a bitter, jaded, honestly hateful person, and I don't know if I see Reese Witherspoon portraying that kind of character. I know she was in another book to television adaptation, Little Fires Everywhere, and honestly the character she played, the mom, I forgot the name of the character in that book, which I also read, was also kind of bitter and almost a little jaded, but she hid it behind like a kind of, facade. I don't know how good her performance in that was. I can only imagine it's pretty good. I mean, it is Reese Witherspoon. She's a competent actress. So, I don't know. Well, Reese Witherspoon isn't attached anymore. I did see somewhere, I think it was on the IMDb page for it, which was last updated in 2017, that Reese Witherspoon was also supposed to produce it. I don't know if she's still supposed to produce it. It didn't really say in the Variety article. I'm gonna link it down below, by the way. It's not very long. Netflix is going to be the one adapting it. And, I just have a lot of feelings in general about Miss Sharonda Netflix. They have some good material on their website. They've got a bunch of good movies and good television shows, originals, that have, propelled them into stardom. Some of their earlier work, early Orange is the New Black, and of course House of Cards, which I've never seen. BoJack Horseman was a big one for them. I'm not entirely sure about their theatrical movies, but they did also have a lot of good documentaries, a lot of good docuseries. Of course, Tiger King, everybody loved that. Netflix is capable of making good films and television. It's just that a lot of the time they aren't. You'll log on to netflix.com these days and you'll see so much new content that wasn't even ever hyped up, or you never heard of half of the stuff on there, and it's made by Netflix. And it is my belief that for whatever reason, I don't know why they've decided to do this, but it seems that they're focusing on quantity instead of quality of content. And I'm not really speaking of that as like a film snob point of view. I don't consider myself a film snob, and I enjoy things that a lot of people would consider kind of boring or just mediocre. So it's not even from that point of view, but it's just that they're making so much stuff and a lot of it is just meh. You know, another book adaptation that comes to mind when I think of Netflix is, I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. It's 13 Reasons Why, okay? I'm just gonna say it, they ruined it. They ruined the adaptation just so hard. This copy that I have, I bought it, I believe in 2013. You can tell because the pages are very yellowed, and at the time that I bought this, it was originally going to be a theatrical length film with Selena Gomez as Hannah Baker. It was originally going to be Selena Gomez, and now I think she ended up being like executive producer for the TV show, whatever. So, things change, but this book does not take place over that much time, okay? My main gripe with the television show, which I watch most of, not all of it, but my main gripe with the Netflix series 13 Reasons Why, is that it drags on forever and ever, okay? For those of you who are unfamiliar, 13 Reasons Why, the main part of the plot takes place in one night. Clay gets the tapes, he listens to them throughout the afternoon and the night, he visits the places that are on the map, and of course there are flashbacks and stuff, but I'm not really talking about that. For some reason in the show, they drag out him listening to the tapes for like really long time because, okay, you can't really have several episodes of a show taking place in the same, 5 hours. That would be a little strange, but I don't think there's enough material in this book to have a television show. A limited series, yes. A limited series, limited amount of episodes, and it's contained and there are no more seasons. 13 Reasons Why went on for 3 seasons? After the first season, there was no point. I guess people wanted to see what happened after the tapes came out and the fallout after that, but man, I don't know. Also, I should like to say, I don't know how much the author Jay Asher was involved in the production of 13 Reasons Why. I never really even heard his name come up in conversations about the show, so I have to imagine not very much. And honestly, I don't even know how he feels about the show, really. My point in saying this and waving this book around is that Netflix doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to their adaptations, okay? 13 Reasons Why was a novel that I liked a whole lot when I was in high school. I still hold it in high regard, and it's another one of those kind of, I won't say misunderstood, but misinterpreted books by a lot of people. You're not supposed to like Hannah, and I think, in the Netflix show, they have her be too much of a sympathetic character. She's not sympathetic at all in the book. She kind of haunts everyone that she sent the tapes to, basically, like a ghost. And she's not really, the protagonist. You're supposed to root for Clay in this, and you do end up doing it. I've talked about it a little bit in a video about some of my favorite books that I own. I go into it a little bit more in depth there. I'm concerned for the adaptation because, it's a film. It's feature length. I'm not sure that they're really gonna go past 2 hours for this. I think for a drama like this, it could stretch into 2 hours, maybe 2.5. But honestly, I'm not gonna lie, 2.5 hour movies are a bit too much for me. If you've watched, or if you even just read the book, or watched my video about it, there are some pretty heavy themes in it. Okay, spoilers. Fully spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled on the book, then goodbye, thank you for watching, nice to have you here, but I'm about to spoil you. The climax of this book, in the flashbacks, the entire reason that this documentary is getting made is that there's a school shooting that happened, which is it's an extremely sensitive topic in the United States. It's kind of a dark stain on our history that we've had so many of these instances go down, and then one of them is being fictionally portrayed in this book. Some people might not like that. I'll say that. It's a little off-putting. It's very off-putting. I'll say it's very off-putting. Me, I'm the type of person that I honestly don't really like happy endings in stories. I like things being depressing, and I like reading depressing books with depressing endings. I don't know why that is. I don't like being sad. That's not a feeling that I enjoy, but I just like reading books like that for whatever reason. And I enjoyed Luckiest Girl Alive for that reason. Going back to 13 Reasons Why, they just made a huge, big, thick misstep with how they handled Hannah's suicide. Because if you have read the book, you'll remember that her method of dying was overdosing on pills. I guess that wasn't violent enough for Netflix executives, because in the show, they show her really graphically cutting her wrists like in the bathtub and bleeding out. That's not how it goes in the books. There was no reason for them to change that at all. And yet they chose to for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't understand why they chose to do that. And of course, if you'll also remember, they ended up taking that out of the series, like altogether. They don't depict it at all. But when it like just came out when I was a senior in high school when that came out, it was still in there. It was there for a while. There was no reason to change that. And I know. There have been a lot of book adaptations that have changed things, and I feel like Hannah's suicide is kind of a big plot point, and I don't know why they would change it so majorly like that. You know, the fact that Jessica Knoll is executive producer gives me a lot of confidence, because maybe she'll want to take her story in a different direction, but I'm more on the side of thinking that this is likely going to be a more faithful adaptation. I really hope so. I really don't like adaptations with a bunch of deviations. I mean, I tried to watch the Little Fires Everywhere series on Hulu, and first episode I couldn't get into it because like I had just finished reading it and it was like still sitting with me, and I went to watch the series and I was like, oh, this is nothing like the book. Why am I here? Sometimes going off script, or should I say off page, for a book to screen adaptation kinda works. I want to bring up Game of Thrones. I know we're all still traumatized from season 8, but I'm not talking about season 8. The seasons before that were just fine, you know. There are only 5 books in the A Song of Ice and Fire series, right? The series basically ends after Jon Snow gets, like, stabbed to death, Julius Caesar style. That's when the books basically end. So, you know, the end of season 5. And after that, they didn't have any material to go off of. But they still had the guidance of George R.R. Martin. I mean, by that time in the series, I think he was less and less involved, because earlier on, he had written some of the episodes and, like, executive produced for a lot of them. So that's why the earlier seasons were more close to the books. I did read the books, by the way, I should point that out if you didn't already catch that. But yeah, I read the books. And even though they didn't have any kind of concrete material to go off of, they still had at least some kind, I don't know the full deets, but they at least had some kind of outline to go off of for the later seasons. I think what happened, just my unprofessional hypothesis, but I think, you know, they were given all the major story points, and they were given, you know, the desired ending by George R.R. Martin. They just didn't really know how to get there. They were doing okay for a little bit, and then they just got, like, too wacky and out of the place, and it was like, oh, we're at season 8, we gotta end this thing, and they just kind of rushed it. I think that's what happened. I hope that's what happened. I mean, this doesn't make it better, but it makes sense at the very least. All of that is to say that this adaptation could go a number of ways, and I just hope that Jessica Knoll being at the helm of it makes it good. I am highly anticipating this film. There have been no release date at all. We just got one casting announcement. Mila Kunis, you know, she's the lead. She's Ani Finelli. I think she'll be good. You know, I don't know why, but I just can really see her playing like the really bitter, jaded, mean, and kind of hateful person that Ani is, which is not like a reflection of her as a person. I think she might be good for it. I think Mila Kunis actually has like good talent. They just put her in a bunch of schlocky comedies for some reason. I don't know. Maybe she needs a new agent. I think she'll be a good lead. I know nothing about this director, so I have no idea. Don't know who's gonna be playing really anyone else. I would like to know who's gonna play young Ani. I feel like that casting decision will be the most important because we spend so much time with young Ani in the book. Most of the really big, chunky, meaty events that happen in the book are when she's younger, so I would be interested to see that casting announcement. So I'll be waiting with bated breath for that. That's gonna be the end of my video, probably a bit shorter than normal. What do you think? What do you think of my makeup look? But whatever, this isn't about my makeup, this is about books. Again, if you want to watch my 1 hour long video about my feelings about Luckiest Girl Alive, then you can watch it. It'll be in an info card. It'll also be in the description if you want to see that. You know, you can put it on in the background and listen to it while you like cook or something. If you have YouTube Premium, you can listen to it like a podcast. It's just me in front of the camera talking. I think definitely I'm gonna be rereading it, you know, after this news, just so it can be fresh in my mind. And because I just finished a book, I would like something else to read. That's gonna be it for me. Thank you for watching. Here's my Twitter. Here is my Ko-fi. Donate if you want. Also, before I forget, because I forgot in my last video, I'd like to shout out all of my Ko-fi donators. I've gotten quite a few recently because of the whole Lily Jean situation. I've had to consult a legal service, and while that's going fine, it's taking a really long time, and then it's costing some money. So I'm gonna put on screen all of my donators. Thank you so much for donating. You really did not have to, but you chose to anyways, and for that, you're amazing. Thank you so much for that. I don't know how many times I can say thank you, but thank you. Hopefully this entire Lily Jean situation will be resolved soon. I'm gonna go reread Luckiest Girl Alive and have a grand old time doing so.